It's Tuesday. It's morning.
And it's macabre. Welcome to Tuesday Morning Macabre, the Monday Morning Macabre spin-off show where we do the same exact thing we do on Monday Morning Macabre, but on the second day of the week.
Because of inclement weather.
Yes, I lost power from Friday until Monday, and that meant... hashtag no upload skis.
And so, I had too much power, like in the movies, and all my light bulbs exploded.
Yeah, everything. What it was like, and then it was like a zoomed out shot of his building, and like all the lightning bolts were striking it.
It had that noise, like.
Yeah. It had that. Do that noise again. Yeah, exactly like that. So that's what was happening over here. So we apologize for the delay. If you are following our social media, you probably saw it. If you aren't, you're probably like, these guys suck. They can't put out a thing every week. I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
God, I hate them, and we're using a voice with the gabagool.
Hey, it's the only not offensive voice left. So thank you for being understanding. The beautiful listeners of Monday Morning Macabre.
That voice isn't either.
Just kind of become Jesse Ventura. So that's we're here. It's Tuesday, so we apologize.
Just fucking deal with it.
Sorry, not sorry. So yeah, why don't you guys
get over it?
Hashtag deal. I do want to shout out everybody who sent us their Spotify Wrapped. That was pretty cool.
That was wicked cool.
That was wicked dope. And like seeing us above some of like the most popular, not only like true crime podcasts, but just like podcasts in general. I was like, that's nuts.
Yeah,
so,
that was boss.
That was wicked boss. So thank you guys for all that. It really meant a lot and we appreciate you. If you didn't have us in your top 5 on Spotify Wrapped, why don't you shut this off and throw your iPhone into the river? Moving right along.
Segue.
Today,
what are we talking about?
I'm going to be scaring scones silly.
Ooh.
Ooh.
If we get kicked out of Sling and Dingers and have to start another podcast, we can call it Scaring Scones Silly.
Scaring Scones Silly with Scones and Darcy. I wish my name was not Darcy now. I ruined the alliteration. You know, I was going to say this is Monday Morning Macabre where we talk about creepy stuff. You already know that. So today I'm going to be telling Scones about one of the most well-known serial killers, Scones. And that is Dennis Rader, a.k.a. BTK.
Whoa, Dennis Rodman?
Dennis Rodman was born in Wichita, Kansas. No.
He could rebound like crazy.
Do you know BTK?
I know BTK. I've heard the name BTK. I don't know anything about Dennis Schroeder, who I think is currently point guard for the Lakers, actually. But that's not here or there.
So we could probably do a whole deep dive on this guy.
BTK stands for something horrible, right? It's like the three things he did to them.
Bop it till you can't.
You'd go bop it. Twist it. Kill him.
Yeah, that was BTK. Okay, I'm going to be straight up. If you tie me up and we're playing Bop It until it said kill them.
It would be so scary. He just bops him on the head and then twists their arm a little bit and then it gets to kill him and he just fucking kills him.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, jeez.
No, it stands for bind, torture, kill. Not quite as fun. But
so twice as scary.
And it's honestly, it's kind of, I'll just.
Is it a misnomer?
Not a no, it's very accurate.
It's very nomer.
It's very nomer. It's spot nomer on, and he was actually the one who coined it. So here's the deal. Also, I should say, this is an article I found on a site that is prolific and known for its horrific serial killer articles. Goodhousekeeping.com.
The Sears catalog?
I'll be honest, there's a lot of better sources, but I couldn't pass up Good Housekeeping's article on BTK.
Wait, is this real?
This is 100% real. Good
no
Housekeeping.
Way. Fucking link it right now.
Has an article called "Who is the BTK Killer?"
I don't believe you link it.
I'm telling you, here it is, right there. Good housekeeping.
Oh my God, the bit's real. This is when the bit becomes real.
This is so Good Housekeeping. Shout out to you guys for randomly doing an article on Dennis Rader.
Dude, Heather Finn, who works for Good Housekeeping, decided to just do an article about the BTK killer.
I don't know why. Okay, so let's begin.
Ooh, and the best 25 Christmas decorations you can buy now.
That's what I'm saying. It does not add up.
How to keep my Christmas tree fresh and the BTK killer.
How to bind, torture, and kill it on Christmas. 10 stockings to die for. So anyone who has... Okay, I'm starting the article now, by the way.
Okay.
I'm also going to throw in some other sources because there's some more interesting tidbits. But
I can't wait till you get to like fucking hgtv.com.
Yeah, don't worry. I bundled the source with HGTV. TLC's got a great article on them. It's all the
country living.
Yeah, Home and Gardens has a great bit about how deep is deep enough for your grave.
The Joanna Gaines really just does so much good work about the Zodiac Killer.
The true crime. Okay. Anyway, let's getting into the article. Anyone who has watched Mindhunter on Netflix knows that the show's first season was sprinkled with a series of perplexing vignettes that seemingly had nothing to do with the plot of the show. In them, we see a man who works for ADT Security Services in Kansas. He seemed a little bit off, but why? We can't be totally sure. In the newly released Mindhunter Season 2, so you can tell this is an article like a couple years old.
Yeah.
In the newly released Mindhunter Season 2, these vignettes continue. This time, they're much more bone-chilling, and it becomes obvious that the man we're seeing in these short scenes is the infamous BTK killer. So, I did notice in Season 1 in Mindhunter... By the way, watch Mindhunter. It's really good, and it sucks that it got canceled.
Yeah, why? Did they ever explain why? I heard there was just a ton of mystery behind it.
I have no idea.
Like, why? It, like, no one explained at Netflix was like, this is why we canceled it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I do not have a good reason. It wasn't me, as Shaggy once said. But I remember watching the first season and seeing the ADT sign, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Dennis Rader. And then it shows the guy, and you're like, yup. So, let's jump into it. So, born in 1945, Dennis spent his childhood in Wichita, Kansas area, and after a brief stint in the U.S. Air Force, he eventually married a woman named... You know what? This is skipping too much. I'm sorry, Good Housekeeping. I'm cutting you off right here.
Ooh, cut him off.
Yeah, I cut him off. We're going into some more detail. Dennis Lynn Rader was born on March 9th, 1945, to Dorothea May Rader and William Elvin Rader, one of 4 sons.
Elvin Rader is an insane name.
Elvin Rader? Yeah, it sounds like an orc trading card. It's like Elvin Rader, and it's just like a orc with an elf.
It's like 3 green mana to play.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. You guys get it. His brothers are Paul, Bill, and Jeff Rader. Born in Pittsburgh, Kansas, he grew up in Wichita. His parents both worked long hours and paid little attention to their children at home. Rader later described feeling ignored by his mother in particular and resenting her for it. From a young age, Rader harbored sadistic sexual fantasies about torturing trapped and helpless women. So, that's...
bad.
I mean, not great. He also exhibited zoo sadism by torturing, killing, and hanging small animals. This is something we have discussed plenty on this show because it's a common
the McDonald's
killer. Yep, the Grimace is out there
being mean to Grimace.
You guys know what we're talking about.
You're definitely... This isn't your first episode.
Yeah. Rader acted out sexual fetishes for voyeurism, autoerotic asphyxiation, and cross-dressing. He often spied on female neighbors while dressed in women's clothing, including women's underwear that he had stolen, and he would pleasure himself with ropes or other bindings around his arms and neck. Not a normal dude at all.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
not cool.
not the coolest guy. Just know that Good Housekeeping made an article about this individual. I mean, you got to keep that in the back of your mind the entire time we talk about this guy. So Rader attended Kansas Wesleyan University after high school, but received mediocre grades and dropped out after 1 year. He served in the Air Force from 1966 to 1970, and upon discharge, he moved to Park City, where he worked in the meat department of a Leaker's IGA supermarket, where his mother was a bookkeeper. Rader married Paula Dietz on May 22nd, 1971, and they had 2 children, Carrie and Brian. He also attended He attends school. Not as there's a lot of just general school background about him, etc., etc., etc.
School stinks.
So, on January 15th, 1974, four members of the...
That's very specific. I don't like it.
Yeah, we're getting into the dark stuff.
So this is the old classic thing we tell you before dark stuff happens. If you don't like horrific stuff, stop listening.
I
don't know why you picked up this podcast.
Don't listen to us, and do not subscribe to Good Housekeeping. On January 15th, 1974, 4 members of the Otero family were murdered in Wichita, Kansas. The victims were Joseph Otero, age 38, Julia Otero, age 33, Joseph Otero Jr., age 9, and Josephine Otero, age 11. Their bodies were discovered by the family's eldest child, who was in 10th grade. Basically, him and his brother came home from school and found the bodies.
Wait.
Which is
hold on.
Dark. Yeah.
So, Charlie Otero and 2 siblings. How many kids are in this family? 3 alive. How many dead?
4 kids total, I believe. No, you're right. There's three I don't know if they're brothers, but 3 siblings found the rest of the family.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, after his 2005 arrest, Rader confessed to killing the Otero family. So, spoiler alert, he gets arrested.
In 2005?
In the most hilarious way.
Wait, that's 30 fucking years.
Yeah, we'll get to it, but it's just such an insane way to get caught. I can't. We'll talk about it. Okay. So between the spring of 1974 and winter of 1977, Rader killed 3 more women: Catherine Bright, Shirley Van Relford, and Nancy Fox. In early 1978, he sent another letter to television's... So, I should say, similar to the Zodiac, he liked to send letters into the police and the authorities and be like, hey, look at me, baby, I'm a real crazy dude.
Look at me, baby.
No, but he'd write them being like, hey, yeah, I'm the killer, call me. He would tell them what to call him in the press.
He would
send in images.
Taunt them and stuff.
Right. One of them included a poem enclosed titled "Oh, Death to Nancy," a parody of the lyrics of the American folk song "Oh, Death."
So he's just a really fucked up version of the Riddler.
Yeah, basically. He claimed to be driven to kill by Factor X. Ironically, the same substance that created the Powerpuff Girls.
He didn't have any of the sugar spice in the
right,
nice.
Exactly. He did not have anything nice.
Just Chemical X.
Yeah. So he characterized it as a supernatural element that also motivated Jack the Ripper, Son of Sam, and the Hillside Strangler. In addition to the 3 women he killed, he also intended to kill others, such as Anna William, who in 1979 escaped death by returning home much later than expected. Rader explained during his confession that he became obsessed with Williams and was, quote, absolutely livid when she evaded him. He spent hours waiting at her home, but became impatient and left when she did not return home from visiting friends. Which is I can't imagine finding that out later of being like, oh, I'm glad I stayed for that extra drink or whatever because there's a maniac sitting in my driveway waiting to kill me.
Yeah, big yikes. That's
big yikes. So his final victim was Dolores E. Davis. She was found February 1st, 1991 at West 117th Street in Park City. So a total of 10 victims over the course of from 1974 to 1991. So there was a long period where he didn't murder people. There was a cooling off period, they referred to it as. And during his cooling off period... Do we know
that was a cooling off period, or did he just not... Was he better about hiding the bodies?
I mean, he confessed to all of his murders, unless he didn't, for some reason, confess to some of them. But I don't know why, you know what I mean? Why only confess to a specific amount?
Well, just because, I know, they pinned... Because don't Ted Bundy, they could have linked, hundreds of them, but they could...
Yeah.
He only confessed to certain ones.
That's true. I mean, yeah, he could... But he also wrote in being oh, I didn't kill XYZ when the news, the media thought they found a dead body and they thought it was BTK, and he's no, that wasn't me. Shaggy style, and then they were like, okay,
It's two Shaggies.
weird that you. So that's why I'm like assuming it's right, but how do we know? During his cooling off period, Rader took pictures of himself wearing women's clothes and a female mask while bound, and he later admitted that he was pretending to be his victims as part of his fantasy. So he was not a normal dude, and he was a real bad guy.
Kind of weird.
BTK stands for bind, torture, kill. That was what he wrote to the police because that was his method of killing the victims. He would bind them and then torture them and kill them. It's very self-explanatory. So by 2004, the investigation of the BTK killer was considered a cold case. Then Rader initiated a series of 11 communications to the local media. This blunder led directly to his arrest in February of 2005.
He blundered?
He blundered. Big blunder. Like, just the dumbest way ever. We'll talk about it. I'm getting there. In March 2004, the Wichita Eagle received a letter from someone using the return address Bill Thomas Killman, which is like such stupid. Like, what an asshole.
You were fine until you used Killman.
So, the author of the letter claimed that he had murdered Vicky Wegerly on September 16th, 1986. And enclosed.
I thought he was trying to be slick. And he's like, Killman, they'll never know.
No, that's not what gets him caught. It's just like a douchey name. He enclosed photographs of the crime scene and a photocopy of her driver's license, which he had stolen at the time of the crime. Before this, it had not been definitively established that Wegerly was killed by BTK. DNA collected from under Wegerly's fingernails provided police with previously unknown evidence. They then began DNA testing hundreds of men in an effort to find the serial killer. Altogether, over 1,300 DNA samples were taken and later destroyed by court order. In May 2004, television station KAKE in Wichita received a letter with chapter headings for the, quote, BTK story, fake IDs, and a word puzzle. On June 9th, a package was found taped to a stop sign at the corner of 1st and Kansas in Wichita. It had graphic descriptions of the Otero murders and a sketch labeled, quote, the sexual thrill is my bill. Also, that's fucked up. Also enclosed was a chapter list for a proposed book titled The BTK Story, which mimicked a story written in 1999 by Court TV crime writer David Lohr. Chapter 1 was titled, quote, A Serial Killer is Born. In July, a package dropped into the return slot at the public library contained more bizarre material, including the claim that he was responsible for the death of 19-year-old Jake Allen in Argonia, Kansas earlier that month. This claim was false, and the death was ruled a suicide. In January 2005, Rader attempted to leave a cereal box in the bed of a pickup truck at Home Depot in Wichita, but the box was discarded by the truck's owner. It was later retrieved from the trash after Rader asked what had become of it in a later message. Surveillance tape of the parking lot from that date revealed a distant figure driving a black Jeep Cherokee, leaving the box in the pickup. In February 2005, more postcards were sent to KAKE, and another cereal box left at a rural location was found to contain another bound doll, apparently meant to symbolize the murder of 11-year-old Josephine Otero. In his letters... Okay, this is where he blunders, and just, like, so insane.
Does he, like, accidentally put his address or, like, sign it with his real name?
It's, like, dumber. In his letters to police, Rader asked if his writings, if put on a floppy disk, could be traced or not. The police answered his question in a newspaper ad saying it would be safe to use the disk. On February 16th, 2005, Rader sent a purple 1.44 megabyte Memorex floppy disk to the Fox TV affiliate KSAS-TV in Wichita. Also enclosed were a letter, a gold-colored necklace with a large medallion, and a photocopy of the cover of Rules of Prey, a 1989 novel about a serial killer. Police found metadata embedded in a deleted Microsoft Word document.
What a dumbass.
That was... Oh, my God. Okay, so police found metadata embedded in a deleted Microsoft Word document that was, unknown to Rader, still stored on the floppy disk. The metadata contained the words, quote, Christ Lutheran Church, and the document was marked as last modified by, quote, Dennis. An internet search determined that a Dennis Rader was president of the church council. When investigators drove by Rader's house, a black Jeep Cherokee, the type of vehicle seen at the Home Depot surveillance footage, was parked outside. This was a strong circumstantial evidence against Rader, but they needed more direct evidence to detain him.
Really?
Yeah. Police obtained a warrant to test a pap smear taken from Rader's daughter at the Kansas State University Medical Clinic, and DNA tests showed a familial match between the pap smear and the sample from Wegerle's fingernails. This indicated that the killer was closely related to Rader's daughter, and combined with the other evidence was enough for police to arrest Rader. So the dude is like, hey, police, tell me the truth. If I send you guys a
you guys are good guys, right?
you guys can't find out who I am. And they're like, no.
It's like so if you're a cop, you're going to tell me.
Yeah, right. It's like, it's illegal. You can't. And so he does. And that's it. That's how they catch him. Which is just crazy.
That's
to me.
wicked goofy.
It almost makes me think like he was like, fuck this, I'm done. But like, or maybe he was having some
he
guilt
wanted to
or
get
like,
caught.
Yeah.
Because it's almost times when like serial killers like sort of.
Yeah, there's a lot of serial killers who eventually
like
turn themselves in.
Honestly insane.
Yeah. It's something that happens, but I mean, he technically never states that. But at the same time, it's like, are you how can you be so successful at homicide and so dumb? You know, like, how does that work?
It's a total boomer move, not getting tech.
Yeah, he's like, you guys.
He's like, ooh, I want a free cruise.
So Rader was arrested while driving near his home in Park City shortly after noon on February 25th, 2005. An officer asked, "Mr. Rader, do you know why you're going downtown?" Rader replied, "Oh, I have suspicions why." Why are you playing coy, you dick?
What a cheeky asshole.
Yeah, I know. Wichita Police, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and ATF agents searched Rader's home and vehicle and seized evidence including computer equipment, a pair of black pantyhose retrieved from a shed, and a cylindrical container. The church he attended, his office at City Hall, and the main branch of the Park City Library were also searched. At a press conference the next morning, Wichita Police Chief Norman Williams announced the bottom line: BTK is arrested. So they catch him. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Ladies and gentlemen.
On February 28th, 2005, Rader was charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder. Soon after his arrest, the Associated Press cited an anonymous source alleging Rader had confessed to other murders in addition to those with which he had been connected. The Sedgwick County District Attorney denied this, but refused to say whether Rader made any confessions or if investigators were looking into Rader's possible involvement in more unsolved killings. On March 5th, news source claimed to have verified by multiple sources that Rader had confessed to the 10 murders he was charged with, but no other ones. His bail was set at $10 million, and on May 3rd, the judge entered not guilty pleas on Rader's behalf, as Rader did not speak at his arraignment. However, on June 27th, the scheduled trial date, Rader changed his plea to guilty. He described the murders in details and made no apologies. So,
I wonder why he changed.
This is kind of fucked up. At Rader's sentencing, victims' families made statements after which Rader apologized in a rambling 30-minute monologue that the prosecutor likened to an Academy Awards acceptance speech.
No me gusta.
Yeah, not a cool dude.
I hate that.
Yeah. So his statement has been described as an example of an often observed phenomenon among psychopaths, which is their inability to understand the emotional content of language. He was sentenced to 10 consecutive life sentences with a minimum of 175 years. Kansas had no death penalty at the time of the murders, and on August 19th, he was moved to El Dorado Correctional Facility. So he is still in jail.
Wait, he's alive?
Yeah, he's alive.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts. I mean,
he could listen to this.
Well, he's in solitary confinement for the rest of his life.
I sure hope so. Oh, that's fucked. I really hope he doesn't know there's a Mindhunter episode about him, because he'd probably get off to that.
Yeah. He is now in solitary confinement for his protection, with 1 hour of exercise per day and showers 3 times per week, and this will likely continue indefinitely. Oh, I take it back, Scones. Beginning in 2006, he was allowed access to television and radio to read magazines and other privileges for good behavior, which is like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Why are you... There's that... Like...
That's fucked that he could even be considered for good behavior.
Yeah, there should be some kind of way to be like, hey, not only are you in solitary forever, but like you don't get any kind of perks. Like why? It's fucked up. I don't know. So regarding the unsolved or looking into like unsolved cases that you're referring to earlier, following his arrests, police in Wichita and Park City looked into unsolved cases with the cooperation of the state police and the FBI. They particularly focused on cases after 1994 because they wanted to catch him with a case after 1994 because that's when the death penalty was reinstated in Kansas. So if they could find something that happened after the fact, they could put him to death, basically.
Yeah.
So police in surrounding states such as Nebraska, Missouri, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Texas also investigated cold cases that fit Rader's pattern to some extent. The FBI and local jurisdictions at Rader's former duty stations checked into unsolved cases during Rader's time in the service. After exhaustive investigations, none of these agencies discovered any further murders attributed to Rader, confirming early suspicions that Rader would have taken credit for any additional murders had he had committed them. The 10 known murders are now believed to be the only murders for which Rader is actually responsible, although Wichita police are fairly certain that Rader stalked and researched a number of other potential victims. This includes one person who was saved when Rader called off his planned attack upon his arrival near the target's home due to the presence of construction and road crews nearby. Rader stated in his police interview that there are, quote, plenty of lucky people, meaning that he had thought about and developed various levels of murderous plans for other victims.
Imagine if you're ever one of those people and you find out.
Yeah, that must be so... I mean, that must really...
Shake.
Yeah, I was going to say, shake it to your core. Your outlook on life must, like, change instantly. Like, I would be... I don't know. It's like a real... I'd hate that. Don't like that thought.
Nope.
There's some stuff about a Massachusetts psych, Robert Mendoza, who was hired to do, like, a psych evaluation on him. Guess what, Scones? It turns out he's narcissistic, antisocial, and obsessive-compulsive.
Wow.
Wow, a real catch. Well, I don't know why they do this. I mean, the psych eval must be pretty fucking easy. Be like, yeah, he's kind of a nutty guy.
Yeah, real eccentric in there.
Stephen King said his novel A Good Marriage and film based on it were inspired by BTK. Some other, Mindhunter, as we spoke about, has influenced BTK, or has BTK.
I was going to say, isn't it just him?
No. Vice versa, was influenced by BTK, stuff like that. But one of the most well-known serial killers, not only for his modus operandi, but the insane way that he was caught. I mean, luckily he was, and...
Yeah, thank God he's a dumbass.
Yeah, thank God he's a real idiot, because he would have gotten away with 10 murders, which is crazy.
Well, no, probably more.
True.
Yeah, just kept going.
Not existential, exponential. So that's Dennis Rader, aka BTK. So if you watch Mindhunter and you're like, what are these random little intro skits? That's they're just little vignettes of Dennis Rader doing Dennis Rader stuff. I should also, I'm realizing as I'm thinking back, there's probably like some points I shouldn't mention. He worked for ADT Home Security, so he knew how to get into people's houses.
I didn't even think about
he
that. He
knew how to disable like security systems and like the best way to enter and exit without being known or noticed. And he specifically took the job so that he could learn those skills, which is kind of terrifying to think about. There are plenty of articles, information, podcasts that do a much deeper dive than I've done, but good housekeeping is good housekeeping, baby.
Where would we be without it?
So
maybe that's why Mindhunter got canceled, because no one watches Mindhunter anymore. They just read Good Housekeeping.
Yeah, everyone's flipped over to Good Housekeeping. They're like, I didn't get any tips on how to make my souffle not crumble. So sorry, really good acting and dialogue.
I don't know how to make my front porch pop this Christmas.
So that's BTK, and that's our Tuesday morning macabre. I thought I should give the people one that they might be like know about, and get excited when they see it pop up on their little playlists.
The Bop It Twist It Killer.
Yep, the Bop It Twist It Killer. And for anything else macabre, check out our website at mondaymorningmacabre.com. Check out our socials, Twitter, MMMacabrePod, Instagram, Monday Morning Macabre.
Buy merch.
We have a design in the works that is, if it comes out the way I think it, in my head it is, it's really cool.
Crazy.
But we'll see what happens.
And we have a Patreon. If you want extra content, every couple of weeks we put out new content that can be either extra episodes, us talking about different movies,
some videos of us doing stuff,
some like insider Scones and Darcy lore,
expanded universe.
Yeah, the macabre expanded universe.
You can find that either on our if you check our Instagram, we have a link tree in there in our bio, or check out our website. There's a link on there, and it helps us out a lot with actually making the podcast and like affording web hosting and all that good stuff,
and spreading the good word.
And keep spreading that good word. And have a good Tuesday.
Have a good Tuesday. It hits different. I don't like it.
It does hit different. I don't like it. Have a good Monday late.
Yeah.
Have a good late Monday.
Have a good late Monday.
Boy.